back to another episode of the Hotspur House. Today we are going to be going over our wins against Brighton and Hove Albion, as well as the win on Thursday against Ludogorets, and then we will preview our game on Sunday against West Brom. Today I am joined by Louis from Spurs underscore fan dot page underscore. What did you think of the game, Louis? Oh, the game. We'll start with Brighton.
It was all right. Did well. Good little win. Gareth Bale last minute winner. You love to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's just the 3 points at this point. I think when we travel with these teams that are just kind of low on the table, or even if they come to our stadium, we just have to really just grind out the wins, which I think is important, and that's a sign of like champions who can just grind out the wins against lower opposition. Charlie, what about you? What did you think about the game against Brighton?
I watched the whole game. It was I mean, the last three performances have been pretty poor in general. But the Brighton one, I mean, the first half wasn't that bad. We started really well in the first 10 minutes. We were all over them, pressuring them very well. And I'm annoyed with people saying like that Kane wanted that penalty on purpose. I really don't think he. I mean, people are slagging him off for that, but like as Jose said in the press conference, you should look at Man U, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea for that kind of stuff, not at Kane.
Yeah, so, he's definitely.
But then in the end of the first half, we were pretty disappointing. We just let them come at us with the ball constantly, and Lamptey was just phenomenal. I mean, he was destroying us on that right side.
He was great, not good.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind buying Lamptey, but in the second half, the last 10 minutes, it's the first time we've actually seen Jose do classic Jose park the bus football with us. It worked though, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that's of course Charlie from N17 Nation. Sorry, I forgot to introduce you, but Lamptey had a good game. What did you make of Charlie? We'll start with you. What did you think of the foul on Højbjerg that led to Lamptey's goal that was then reviewed and wasn't given as a foul and the goal stood?
Wow, people can argue that the Kane penalty was not a penalty, that it was harsh, but you can argue that Kane was on the line of the box, so you can argue that it was a penalty. But like some refs would say it depends, some wouldn't. So you can't slam the ref too much for that. But for this, I mean, in no universe is that not a disallowed goal. That was such a clear foul. He looked at the monitor for 2 minutes, and he didn't even touch the ball. It's crazy.
100%.
You know what Google did? I mean, not Google, but if the day after, if you search the ref's name, it would. What's his name? What was his?
Who was it?
It was.
I'm not sure.
Graham Scott, I think. Something.
Yeah, Graham Scott.
Yeah, Graham Scott.
Yeah. So if you search his name, and not anymore, but the day after, don't know how, but it said Graham Scott is a legally blind English referee. I don't know how, but
definitely some disgruntled Spurs fans.
I mean, they're not lying. No surprise that he didn't get a game to ref in
maybe
the
head Google was a Tottenham fan.
Going on a penalty call for Brighton that wasn't called. There was a Doherty's kind of drag back on Trossard, which wasn't given.
We're talking
what
good
do you
about
think of that, Louis?
Now we're talking about Doherty. I just said that first we're talking about good about Doherty. Now we're talking about bad about him. He did all right. So it was the foul, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it looked like a foul, but it wasn't given.
Well, VAR is probably shambles.
Yeah.
So screw you, VAR. And that's what I have to say.
Yeah. It's the inconsistencies with VAR is what really gets me. How they make different decisions like every week on the same scenarios.
Yeah. Speaking about VAR, did you see what happened to Azpilicueta?
When Maguire jumped on his back.
Yeah, and that was and VAR didn't say that was penalty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
it's frustrating, like because it was supposed to come in and fix everything, and it's coming and it's honestly just made everything worse. Like at this point, I think I'd rather go back to no VAR. It's
Well,
I
well,
could into goal line technology.
yeah, of course, keep well on technology, but
well, talking about the Doherty foul, I mean, for me, that's more of a pen than the Kane one. I must admit.
you think
If
so?
if if you're going to give the Kane one, you have to give that because
Hmm.
Doherty. I mean, Doherty. I mean, it was only a nudge, but any contact these days, the players are going to go to ground.
Yeah,
So if you think, I mean, it probably was a penalty. We got lucky with that. But talking about VAR, I mean, going back to not being with VAR, as you just said, because I don't, when before VAR, I don't remember seeing too many mistakes from refs. I'm not going to lie. I don't even think it was that needed. I mean, yes, obviously, now there's clearly more penalties, which means that they did used to make a lot of mistakes. But it was better then. Before, you could never have someone like Bruno Fernandes just consistently scoring penalty. I mean, today he scored 2 non-penalty goals, but still, like
mm,
you could never have a player score like 7 penalties in one season and stuff. It's stupid.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
if I just think, I mean, the fact that refs actually looking at the monitor this season in the Prem, they literally didn't last season, and still making mistakes. I mean, it's just. Um, but yeah, enough
It's the
about
quality of the referees. I think has just dropped
yeah.
so much. I don't understand how they don't like see these fouls or like what they think.
Italian refs are amazing. Italian refs are amazing.
Yeah, we
It's
need to bring in
like
some.
we're the biggest league in the world with we like the fans are better refs than the refs. I mean, I know
Hmm.
we see it better than the refs, but he looked at the monitor, which is I
Yeah,
just can't accept it. How can you do like? Is there some sort of rule that we don't know about or something? Like I don't.
Probably.
yeah. It's definitely frustrating. I know we've talked about it a few times on this podcast. Just how
But
often that there's
yeah,
mistakes, and it's
you got to deal with it. You just
yeah,
got to deal. Have to
yeah,
move on. And deal.
yeah. So right now there's nothing we can do about it. So
Yeah.
uh, VAR is here to stay, unfortunately. But moving on, Gareth Bale, back at Spurs, back in the goals, his second appearance in the Premier League. He scored the winner for us in the 73rd minute with a nice header off of Reguilon's cross right into the bottom corner.
The effect of Real Madrid.
Yeah, built in Madrid, delivered in uh, delivered in London.
Yeah. The Real Madrid effect. The Real Madrid chemistry. Song.
The Real Madrid chemistry, straight out of
Talking
FIFA.
about Reggie, um, I'm sure you saw. I mean, I think Toby posted about it that the whole reason they got rid of Sergio was because he had some sort of fight with Zidane's
Oh yeah,
son.
yeah. He had a
Yeah.
disagreement with
I mean,
Zinedine
it's
Zidane's
such
son.
a joke. Zinedine Zidane's son is some sad guy who wouldn't he's like a goalkeeper. I think he's
Yeah,
20 years old and he's League Two quality. What can he say that would actually like he has
Make
no
him
right
leave.
to say anything to Sergio. Sergio, one of the best left backs on the planet, and now Zinedine Zidane
And
defending his
he's young.
son. Honestly, it's a joke.
yeah,
Now he's talking to literally one of the dirtiest ex-French internationals and ex-Real Madrid international of all
mhm,
time. All-time son,
yeah.
who will probably turn into be the second best dirtiest French and Real Madrid goalie in the all-time.
If he even stays at Madrid, because I don't
Yeah,
know much about him, but I don't know if he's very good or not.
but
Um,
also he'll probably be like his dad because you remember when Zidane did that headbutt in the World Cup in
yeah,
2002.
of course.
Yeah, imagine maybe in like 5-6 years time, the keeper will go up and probably headbutt someone else.
I think we definitely can agree that we should be rooting for Real Madrid so that Zidane doesn't get sacked. Because as long as
Yeah.
Zidane's there, they won't take Bale back and they won't take Reguilon back.
To
Because
be
I don't think
honest, isn't it a 1 year loan deal or 2 year loan deal?
for Bale it's a 1-year loan with an option to extend, and then for Reguilon it's a we bought him,
Yeah, we
but
bought him.
Madrid can buy them back either this summer or the next summer
Why
for
can
like 10 million more than what we bought him
Why
for, 10 or 15 million.
why can Madrid buy him back?
It was a clause that they put into the deal because they wanted to have it in there in case they wanted to buy him back.
He won't go back to Madrid.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
He's actually getting games at Spurs.
Yeah, he's starting. The fans already love him.
Yep.
As soon as the fans get back in the stadium, too. I think
we should do a predicted lineup for West Brom.
we'll get to that a little bit later. We'll continue to we'll finish reviewing Brighton and then we'll review.
We
Ludogorets.
we usually do that on the end. So
Yeah. So I think we've probably gone over Brighton just about enough.
Have we gone over the
Ludogorets, what do you guys think of Jose Mourinho's starting lineup, which was a lot stronger than last week's, because of the abysmal result in play that we did last week. So we had a much stronger lineup, starting Kane, Lloris, Lo Celso.
Son? Did Son start?
He did not. He came on in the 61st minute.
It's also, to be honest with you, it was good to see like youngsters like Jack Clark, Scarlett, Jack Clark. Yeah, good to see Jack Clark make an appearance. I was actually happy about that. Because to be honest with you, Mourinho's improved Clark.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely improved Clark. I mean, we haven't seen too much of him. I think he only got like 4 minutes against LASK when we played them.
And then he played in the preseason friendly against Reading.
Yeah, and then he played in preseason. But I think he has all the qualities to be a good winger.
He has improved because obviously he went on loan to QPR, didn't really get that much minutes.
Yeah. From what I've seen, though, he has all the qualities to be a good winger for us because he has that quick acceleration and he has the just the skill move to kind of drop a shoulder and get around someone, which is always important.
It's also good that he's playing in Europe, he's only 19, 20.
He is. Let's check. No, it's Harvey White.
No, 19, 20.
Jack Clark is currently 19. He turns 20 on November 23rd.
So in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks. Definitely good to see some youngsters getting opportunities under Mourinho, though. Who was like the rumors kind of around him were saying like, oh, he doesn't incorporate youth or anything like that. But yeah, he's.
Now, to be fair, at Chelsea, I think he did, and Inter Real Madrid, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't really follow Jose when he was at Inter or Madrid.
He did. I think he brought in like.
He brought in McTominay at Man United,
and he gave Angel Gomez a shot as well.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the Ludogorets game, the fact that Dele Alli didn't even get a shot off the bench, I think that's it for him. But also,
he'll be
Lucas Moura was absolutely phenomenal, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Lucas Moura he's rapid, he's class.
Yeah, sometimes he's just phenomenal, and sometimes he's just not.
Goodbye.
But he's never shambolic, but sometimes he's just not involved at all, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
when he first came to Spurs, he wasn't really that much involved. It was mainly the season. Yeah, because he came in the January transfer window.
Yeah.
And 6 months. But in the 18-19 season, he scored 15 Premier League goals. That's amazing for a winger, and got us to the final.
That was when he burst onto the scene in the 18-19 season. He literally took over. Who was playing left mid at the time? Eriksson?
I think Son was still in the team, but for whatever reason, Pochettino didn't want to play Lucas Moura and Son at the same time. So it was
So
either like Ericsson on the left or Dele on the left, and then Lucas on the right, or Ericsson or Dele on the right and Son on the left.
Also, something I wanted to mention: Bergwijn. So,
he
Ooh, I'm nervous. I really like Bergwijn, but he's not
he's
taking his chances right now.
He's all right. When he first signed, I didn't really know who he was. But when
Yeah.
the first few games he played and he scored quite a few goals, I
Yeah.
remember him scoring the first goal versus Wolves when we drew to them, when we lost them 3-2. He scored the first goal, and then he hasn't really getting that much minutes this season, has he?
No, I feel like the biggest issue for Bergwijn right now is his confidence. Because at the end of last season, he was really pushing Lucas Moura for a starting spot in the team, and now this year it just feels like he's kind of slipped down the pecking order with Gareth Bale coming in, and
well,
it seems
no,
like
no,
Eric
no,
Lamela and Lucas Moura are in front of him.
no.
So,
But I don't think he should be worried. He's an absolutely quality player. I've known him for a really long time. I mean, I saw him on FIFA like 3 years ago when he was some young talent from PSV, and I was like, oh, this guy looks pretty good. And I watched some highlights of him, and I've always known that he's a really good player. And I was actually like imagining us signing him like 2 years ago, and I really wanted us to sign him. And then suddenly, because his signing happened so quick, his signing happened so.
It was in January. It was the day after we signed Gedson Fernandes.
But it was really weird because it happened so quickly. Because I just woke up and it just said rumors of Bergwijn. I'm like, wow! And then suddenly, later in the day, Bergwijn traveling to London, and then in the next morning, we've signed him, which is just amazing.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's a really good player. It's not even his play. I mean, it's just his finishing. He gets into these chances and then just absolutely shanks it wide. I don't know what's happened to his finishing. But Jose, I mean, Bergwijn said that Bergwijn's been left out of 3 of the last 4 Premier League squads, which is worrying. But it's the same thing with what happened with Ndombele, with Lo Celso, with Ali now. But Ali is the kind of player that this doesn't work for, because he's never worked hard in his career, like really hard, like a professional world class level in training. He's never worked that hard. So if you want to get Dele Alli's confidence high, I think Jose just needs to walk up to him and give him a cuddle and say everything's going to be okay, because he's just not really. His confidence is so low. Everyone's against him. He's still a quality player somewhere in there, but he's just. I mean, when you haven't scored in a really long time, and you're not playing, you just lose confidence. And the same's happening with Bergwijn. He hasn't scored this season, but Bergwijn admitted that he hasn't been great, and that he will work hard to impress Jose and get back into the
3-4 goals last season, didn't he? He got 1 against Man U. He got 1 against Wolves. He got
1 against Man City. Yeah, he had 3 goals and 1 assist last year in 8 starts, which is a pretty good record for like just being introduced to the game, like to the English game in the English league, and to have 3 goals and 1 assist from 8 starts is pretty impressive.
Massive.
And it wasn't against small teams either. It was against Man City, Man United, and Wolves. And Wolves were pushing us for Europa League, Champions League, kind of in that area. So he definitely has the quality in him. It's just the case of kind of drawing it out. And it's his confidence right now, I think, is just really low. Because, like I said, it feels like he's just kind of slipped down the pecking order. But I do think that he will bounce back, and he'll be. I don't think we've seen his best yet, so I can't say back to his best. But I do think we'll see the best. I think the best is yet to come with him. He has a lot of potential.
Yep, he has.
So, talking about Kane. So Kane got his 200th goal.
Yeah,
200 goals and 300 appearances.
I mean, that's just phenomenal. That's amazing.
That is unbelievable. Coming from
and
the
you know what? I think it's more impressive than Aguero getting 200 in like 200 and 293 games, because when City signed Aguero from Atletico, he was already
A goal scorer.
he was already like a world renowned striker,
The
already
next
pretty much
now,
world class. But
Yeah.
Kane started in
Kane,
2011. He was really young, and
he had his chance.
that's why he's had more games slightly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlie. I'll give you, for anyone who wants it. I'm gonna do a bit of story about Kane. So obviously he started in the academy. Didn't really get that much chances. Went on loan to some clubs like Norwich, Leyton Orient, Leicester, and then obviously it was his first big break was in 2014. Obviously, when he got his first chance,
hmm
and then I remember him scoring his first goal against Southampton. Not Southampton, Sunderland. It was a cheeky little tap in. And then that's when he first went off the mark as a Tottenham Hotspur player.
Yeah.
And he's been ever since.
I mean, it's incredible. There's like, I think he's such an interesting person because obviously he was in the Arsenal Academy, and then they dropped him because he was. This is a quote, by the way. He was too chubby, and then just like to work on his game, and then to join Spurs Academy and work his way up, and then to become like arguably the best striker in the world. It's incredible. He's such a good player.
People are gonna kill me for this, but I think he is our best player ever, the greatest player to ever put on that Tottenham jersey. Actually, no, Maradona put it on once in one game, but except for that, I think you got Jimmy Greaves, you got Ardiles, but that was. Yeah, but that was back in the day. I mean, even Jermaine Defoe. I mean, football's been getting better and better, and the defenses have been getting better and better. And the fact that Kane can still bang goals in with ease, I mean,
yeah,
it's just
we had some top quality finishers like Pierre Crouch, Defoe, Pavlyuchenko, Kane,
Pavlyuchenko from Russia with love.
Yeah, Bale, Freddie Canute. Freddie Canute. There's one that stuck in my head that I need to remember.
Darren Bent?
Yeah, Darren Bent. And then we had some good quality finishes over the years. Oh yeah, I forgot Teddy Sheringham, Gary Lineker.
Yeah, we've definitely had a long list of like phenomenal strikers, and I think Kane is definitely up there as one of the best, if not the best. Yeah, he's such an exceptional player. Who I started saying this earlier, but he just has so many levels to his game. He has the vision. His vision is probably one of the best in the league, second maybe only to Kevin De Bruyne. But his vision and his pass, his shot is obviously incredible. His hold up play is incredible. He has so many different aspects that he can call upon. And the only thing I'll say, like that's a negative, it's not even about Kane, but it's just the squad's seemingly like reliance on him. Because in the first half of the Ludogorets game, Kane was on. We were playing pretty well, and then Kane came off, and we slipped off a bit. We weren't playing at the same level. So I think it's just a bit worrying that we are so reliant on Kane. I hope that like we're able to figure it out, and maybe it's just because it was kind of a rotated squad that was playing. So yeah, just something to think about. But he's definitely one of our best players of all time. Back at the Ludogorets game, though, Son came on, and 17 seconds after he got subbed on, he provided the assist for Lo Celso. Lo Celso scored his 5th goal for the club.
It wasn't just 17 seconds later; it was his first touch as well.
Yeah, Son is such an incredible player.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. I think he's one of the best. Definitely one of the best two to play for Spurs.
I think Son is better than Mane.
I
Yeah,
agree with that. I
I
agree
agree.
with that. No bias here at all.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale got another 65 minutes. I think he won't start on tomorrow, but I do think he'll get another appearance off the bench.
He'll be on the bench.
Yeah.
The-
Lucas Moura got a goal in this. We talked about him a little bit earlier, but do you think he'll be?
I think Vinicius will play tomorrow. Give him a run out.
You think he'll play like alongside Kane, or
Yeah, I think he'll play alongside Kane with Son on the wings with Son on the wings with this. Who's normally on the wings?
Lucas Moura or Bergwijn are the two right wingers that can play for Sunday.
But I'm gonna think Son will be on the wing either with Bergwijn or Lucas. Then so I think we still have predicted lineups now.
Yeah, we can do our predicted lineups for Sunday. You want to start?
Yeah. Alright, so Lloris in goal. So I'm gonna start. So Lloris in goal. In the back four of Tobey and Sanchez, centre back with Rude, Leon, and I think Rodens will start right back.
We want to start as right back.
Yeah.
A lot of center backs have played right back as they're getting kind of introduced into the squad. So
to give him a debut. And then the midfield, two centre mids are going to be Musa, Sissoko, and Ndombele. And two wingers, I think, are going to be Son and Bergwijn. Then up front are going to be Kane and Vinicius. Then on the bench is going to be Joe Hart, Bale, Lucas, Jack Clark. Who else am I missing? Oh yeah, Ben Davis.
Yeah, Ben Davis.
Yeah.
Sanchez, maybe Dele.
Yeah. You want to go next, Tobey?
Yeah, sure. I'll go. I think Lloris will start in goal. I think Reguilon at left back. I'm not sure. I feel like there's a decent chance that Rodon could get his debut. I think it'll be Eric Dyer starting alongside either Sanchez or Rodon. I don't think Alderweireld will play because he played on Sunday against Brighton and then he played again on Thursday. So I think he'll be rested. And then at right back, it's such a complicated one right there because I'm not sure.
I think
Doherty started on Thursday, so I think I'll go with Aurier to start, and then Højbjerg, Sissoko in midfield, Ndombele as an attacking mid, Son on the left, Kane up top, and then it's going to be Lucas Moura or Bergwijn. I think so. If Lucas Moura would have been subbed off at halftime, I would have been very confident that he would play again on Thursday. But he was subbed off in the 61st minute, so I don't know. This is a complicated one. And Bergwijn was subbed on in the 65th, so and the last game, and Bergwijn hasn't played a ton. His last time he got minutes in the Premier League were against West Ham, so. I think Bergwijn will be given a shot tomorrow. I think I'll start at right wing.
Right, has Charlie got his lineup?
You ready, Charlie?
Yeah. I think it'll be a bit of a rotational lineup since we do have City coming up and a few other important games. I actually think Harry Kane will not start. It's risky, but it is only West Brom. Let's be honest. So
enough.
Something to keep in mind though is after West Brom, there's an international break the following week.
Oh, okay. Then I'm changing my So Lloris in goal, right back Aurier. I'm sorry, Doherty just isn't performing at a high enough level right now.
We'll come back to that. We'll circle back to that. I want to talk about Doherty for a little bit.
Aurier, Roden, Tanganga.
You think Tanganga's going to start?
Yeah.
Dumb.
Tanganga and and Reggie, and then in midfield, I'm going for the first time ever, because West Brom are going to be pretty defensive, so they're not going to be attacking us too much. So we'll have freedom in midfield. For the first time ever, we're going to see
I don't think it's gonna happen.
we're going to see Ndombele, Celso, and Højbjerg, a sight to behold. And then, actually, no. Oh God, Jose said Jose said that Lo Celso isn't in a good enough physical condition for that yet. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go for us to bench Ndombele and to play Lo Celso, Højbjerg, and Harry Winks.
You think he'll bench Ndombele?
Do you think Harry will start?
Because it's West Brom. They're pretty much bottom of the league. We need to rotate. And then in attack we'll have Kane, Bergwijn, and actually no. You know what? I'm changing the formation. We're going to play 4-4-2. Kane and Vinicius up front. Son left mid, Bergwijn right mid, and then in midfield, Lo Celso and Højbjerg.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I do not think Lo Celso is going to start.
You think?
No, I don't think so. I think there's like zero chance, because after he played 72 minutes against Ludogorets on Thursday, and he's coming back from an injury, and Mourinho said that that Lo Celso
I guess so. Okay, then I'll replace Lo Celso with Ndombele.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Alex Morgan has just got her first start for the Spurs women.
Yes, you love to see it.
She's just come
finally. I mean, we were all talking about like how much we were waiting for Gareth Bale to play, but we signed Alex Morgan like a few days before we signed Bale, and this is like her first time being in the Spurs lineup for the women.
Happy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow the women's football too much because it's not on television very much where I am, but
it's not on television here either. So
I think you can watch.
Well, Spurs women. Even if I could, I mean, I would watch them if they were better than they are. But they recently lost 6-1 to Arsenal women. So, yeah.
Back to Doherty.
I want
to talk a little bit about Doherty.
My local team, the team I was born in, the place I was born in, which is a bit weird for me.
Doherty. Okay. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about him because I think that he has been extremely unlucky in the Spurs side in terms of his like end result with like his goals and assists. I know I talked about it a little bit earlier in different podcasts, but I just want to go over it again because I feel like there's been even more chances to talk about it. So obviously the first game against Everton, he played that 1-2 with Kane, got a pretty good shot on target, and Pickford made a great save uncharacteristically. Then against Southampton, he had a header back into Kane. That Kane scored, and then it was ruled off for offside from like Son, who crossed it to Doherty. And then against Ludogorets, he had a point blank shot that was it was a great reaction save from their keeper. And then he had a nice pass into Lo Celso, which Lo Celso put wide. I think he probably realistically should have scored. So I think Doherty, he's had he'll be counting himself unlucky that he hasn't had a goal or assist yet for Spurs, because he's had so many good chances, and then whenever Doherty gets a shot on it, the keeper is suddenly prime like Casillas. It's crazy. And then there was nothing that he could have done about Kane, or like the offside for Kane's goal against Southampton, because it was offsides for Son. And then again, like nothing he can do when he passes to Lo Celso, and Lo Celso hit it wide. I think he's such a good player. And another interesting thing about Doherty is against Ludogorets, he won the most duels, which is just a little interesting fact. I think he's 10. I think he won 5 duels.
No, but
But
it's not all about him being unlucky. He's just been poor. Against the Ludogorets, we were 2 or 3-0 up, and there was a period in the game before they scored their goal. He was just giving the ball away. Like, he gave the ball away 3 times in 2 minutes or something. It was shambolic. He just needs to concentrate more because I mean, I don't know. He's just been so bang average. Even though he could have gotten an assist in a second game, he just needs to step up his game because, I mean, he's not been quick enough on that wing. He hasn't been overlapping like he was at Wolves. The problem for him is the position change. He's never really been a classic right back. He's been more of a right wing back, and he's just not. And but the thing is, now that he's playing right back, for some reason he's not going into the attack at all. He's just staying back. I mean, I don't know. He's just not really stepping up to the occasion yet, but hopefully he will.
just another little thing about Doherty, he was the highest rated Spurs player against Ludogorets in terms of like after-match ratings. He had 7.4, and Alderweireld and Davis were both 6.8, and Dyer was 6.9.
How?
Because he had a good game. That's what I'm
What
telling
kind
you.
of match ratings are those? Then where's Lucas? Where's Lucas?
I said defense. Lucas was 8.7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lucas and Kane were both 8.7s. Lo Celso was an 8.2, and Højbjerg, who came on at halftime, was a 7.6. And other than that, Doherty was ahead of everyone. I still think Doherty's a good player. I think he's getting used to playing right back, like you said. I think part of his problem right now was that he was expected to kind of play like Aurier did last season, like really pushing up, and Davis was going to kind of slot and make it a back three at times. But then we signed Reguilon, and so now
Yeah, then
Reguilon's pushing
Reguilon.
up really high, and then we're Doherty kind of has to do what Davis's job was meant to be, in like tucking into that back three. So he hasn't had as many opportunities to get forward. And the other thing to remember is Doherty is 28, and this is the first big transfer of his career. Like he's been at Wolves since August of 2010, and then he left in August of 2020. So this is the first time in his professional career where he's had a change of setting with different managers, coaches, different players. So I think he's still getting used to it. I do think he's still a better option than Aurier, but we'll see that I think going forward more than we are right now. Because I agree he hasn't been at like his best, but I still think he's a better option than Aurier at the moment, at least. Would you just because of Aurier's like his little fouls that he gives away and his little like he just seems he messes up a lot.
Aurier has cost us 5 goals from those fouls this season, statistically.
Exactly. And how many goals does Doherty cost us?
None.
No,
Yeah.
two penalties given away. But
Okay.
he's really been getting penalties away for some reason.
Okay, those aren't his fault though. Like the one he had his hand out on Son, and then the ball bounced off someone else's foot and hit him in the arm, and it was given as a foul. And then the other one, his hand was across his chest, and someone crossed it into his hand.
Or breaking news. Spurs women has just drawn with Reading women 1-0.
Oh, yeah, they don't seem like they're very good right now, but it seems like they're building. It seems like they're kind of building a new squad. But yeah, they have some growing to do before I think they really take any like big like shots at the title or anything. But just a little interesting thing to look at the U23s. Alfie Devine, who we signed over the summer for like 500,000. He's 16 and he scored on his debut for the U23s.
Did he?
This past week against Derby. Yep.
Yep. He can't play because he's 2016.
Yeah. He won't play in the first team this season. I don't think. I'd be shocked if he did. But he's definitely one for the future, and as well as Dane Scarlett, who has been really hitting in the goals as well for the U18s. I think Scarlett's also 16. I think he also played for the U23s this week. And also, interestingly, I think it was a friendly or something because obviously he's not under 23. But Danny Rose played for the U23s against Derby.
30,
Imagine telling that to a Spurs fan 3 years ago.
It's just so strange the way it's all happened, and then like no one wants to sign him from us.
I'm sorry, but Rose is better than Davies.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. Just
Well, I don't know.
I think the thing that Ben Davis offers to us that Danny Rose doesn't is his ability to play. It's kind of like make the back three, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, and I think he's defensively better than Danny Rose. Yeah. I don't think it really matters though because Rose won't play for Spurs first team again after his altercation, shall I say, with Jose Mourinho. I'd be shocked if he was brought back into the team, even if Davis and Reguilon both got injured.
Even if one of them got injured.
I don't think we see Rose back. I think in Jose's mind, Rose isn't even at the club anymore. In that sense.
Well, it's really weird. Jose is really harsh. I mean that's the best thing about him. But like Ali's totally out of the question. Bergwijn's been out of the question for the last few Prem games. I mean, he's harsh. Usually it works out, but still, he just picks players to just.
Well, to be fair with Danny Rose, he didn't pick Danny Rose.
No,
Danny Rose kind of came after
Rose
him.
Picked him. Yeah.
But I mean, Rose wasn't getting game time. Obviously, we talked about this before, but Rose wasn't getting game time. So Mourinho, so he came into Mourinho's office and he was like, "Why aren't you playing me? The defense is all."
Yeah, he kind of had a rant.
Yeah, he had a rant, and you don't rant at Jose Mourinho of all people.
You should. Now, minded, do you?
Yeah, no. So I mean,
I think that's the end.
Yeah, I would be utterly shocked if we saw Danny Rose play for Spurs again. Even if like all of our defenders got injured, I think he would rather call up
or another Premier League club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Score predictions for West Brom. How do you guys think it's gonna go? We'll start with you, Louis.
I'm gonna go with 5-0 Tottenham.
5-0 Tottenham.
Yeah. Bale double, well not Bale. Son double and Kane. Son double and Kane. Son double and Kane double.
Alrighty. Okay, so I'm just looking at West Brom's previous results right now, and they lost 2-0 to Fulham last week, drew 1-1 with Brighton, drew 0-0 with Burnley, and lost 2-0 to West Brom. Sorry, they are West Brom. They lost 2-0 to Southampton and drew 3-3 against Chelsea. So they seem to be leaking goals, but they've conceded 3 in their last 3, which is a pretty good record for like a relegation side. But I think we'll come out 2-0 winners. No, we'll come out 3. We'll go 3-0. Kane and Son score, and then I think Bale, after getting subbed on, he'll score. He'll score in like the 80th minute, and then that'll just be a huge confidence boost for him going into the international break, and then coming back out of the international break, praying that no one gets injured. Hopefully, Bale will start getting integrated into the side in the first team in the Premier League, not just their Europa League anymore. But we'll see how that goes. Charlie, how do you think the game against West Brom is going to go?
I think we'll get our first Premier League clean sheet of the season.
Second, we beat Burnley 1-0.
Oh yeah. So our second clean sheet of the season. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win. Usually I'm more confident, but West Brom are never easy to play. And 2 years ago, when they were already pretty much relegated, we were 1-0 up, and then they scored a 93rd minute goal, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I'm never confident against them. So I'm going to go with just a 2-0 win, and I'm going to go with Vinicius getting his first goal for the club.
Ooh.
And Vinicius getting his first goal for the club, and Pierre Emil Højbjerg getting his first goal for the club. So some interesting stuff.
Also, something to look at here. There will be a little bit of pressure on Spurs because we win on Sunday in the early game. We go top of the table with Liverpool and Leicester, who play later in the day, as well as. No, those are the only two people that are really ahead of us as of now. Yeah, those are actually the only two. So if we win, we go top of the table, 1 point ahead of Southampton and Liverpool. And then later in the day, Leicester play Wolves and Liverpool play City. So one of them, I could see one, if not both of them, dropping points. So we could be top of the table going into the international break, which would be incredible.
It would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that'd be amazing if we went to the international break, top of the table, because we're gonna have a tough run when we get back from the international break. We'll have City, not counting Europe, not looking at Europa League games. We'll have City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Leicester, and then Wolves. So we go from after the international break to Boxing Day with a tough run of fixtures, and then it eases up after that. But it's going to be a tough run. If we can get if we can go through that run unbeaten, that would be incredible. But
we got wait
only time will tell. I think.
Yeah.
Any last things you want to talk about, Louis or Charlie?
Nope.
Not really. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, we covered everything.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Hotspur House. Really enjoyed you listening. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcast and YouTube, or follow us on Spotify. Thank you so much, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Bye, guys.